Says it's going live, and it says we're live.
Hello, welcome to the StockinetteZombies. I'm Amy, also known as Janitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It, and this is episode 348.
Oh my.
Yes. I was just telling Amy, I saw your guys' comments that we had this going live at 7:00 at night. YouTube must have, and Lynn was telling Claire, you gotta love technology. Yes, YouTube must have updated, and you cannot have like a start at 12:05 anymore. It has to be 12:15. So I don't know if that's a hint, like, hey, give yourself a little more time in between stopping what you're doing at work and jumping into podcast, but always fun with technology. Always fun. So
yeah.
How are things going with you?
Fine. I tried to order a computer last week and I ended up canceling my order this morning because when I went in to check on the status, it said 3 months. I'm like, what? Like the website said ready to ship.
Huh.
And I looked out there and the exact one that I ordered still said ready to ship on the website. I'm like, cancel it. Like, you obviously don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And
lots of shaking fists at technology, right?
Yes, exactly. Like, how is this that hard, right? Like, if something says ready to ship, that means that you have inventory that is in my geography, right? Like, nope, not for this site.
I always felt like there are, there's people that do it really well, right? Like, I don't think Amazon has ever really sold me anything that they don't have in stock. I think that I have gotten like updated shipping times. But yeah, there's definitely a divergence there for me of like people keeping their websites updated and knowing when things are going to ship. And like, there's people that do it well.
Yeah.
Which I get. No. I mean,
again, it was a good deal, right? It was on a super duper sale, so it was worth trying. But then I was like, well, I'm just gonna keep an eye out and buy locally again, because that's.
And then you said that it's like your personal PC knows that it's being replaced.
Oh yes, because I was trying to get logged in, and it was like, no.
Yeah. New year, new technology problems, new projects.
Yeah, the gremlins are about, but that's all right.
Yeah.
I guess the only other thing that I have that's kind of exciting, and we'll probably do this next week, but I have my little box.
Yes, mine arrived today as well. So we're continuing with our Eat Sleep Knit quarterly boxes. Oh, fun. So yeah.
Yeah. And I did a little sneak peek, and the patches have turned into pins.
Ooh, exciting.
So instead of patches on bags, I don't know, don't know what you put them on, but you get pins.
Very exciting. Very exciting. Well, I wanted to thank everybody for the well wishes. I went out to Discord and there was an avalanche of birthday well wishes for me. So I really appreciate it. On Friday, everybody that asked got a standard response that I was knitting, drinking coffee, went out for sushi, went for a run. So doing all the things that I love, which is great. I highly recommend, if you're able, taking your birthday off from work, because it just, even if you're not doing anything all that special, it just kind of makes it like, okay, at least I'm not at work.
Yes. Yeah, no, and I've done that for a long while. Or I have planned something between Karen and I's birthdays, because they're a month apart approximately, and then we'll plan something between them and take that day off. But yeah, it's been interesting with COVID, not being able to feel like, I don't know, time just feels weird, right? So yeah, taking a day off on your actual day, I think that might solidify it, make it feel more concrete, like time is passing.
Yeah. I guess if it's on a weekend or whatever, you've got that built in. But
yeah, my youngest is having a birthday this weekend, so
yeah,
14.
Yeah, speaking of this weekend, we do have the Queen City Dye Day. I have been, so Janice dyes outdoors. So I
Mm.
have been kind of asking her for a weather update. I think earlier I got a message from her that was like, we have forecasted snow on Saturday. Are you guys all sending my weather, me
Whoa.
your weather? So we do have a rain date in place, which is the following Saturday. So stay tuned. We'll still have the Zoom, but we may not on Saturday. So you can join and kind of chat, obviously. But if weather is not in our favor, we will not be dying on that day in the snow. Can you imagine?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it might be fun to be like, mark your calendar. You were able to be part of, some
Snow in the
Charlotte, North
south.
Carolina. Yeah.
I'm getting
Snow.
distracted by my streak here.
Uh-oh. So yeah, that's super fun. We've got two things going on there. Go out and vote for your favorite color to see on that superwash versus non-superwash Berry Hill base. And then we also have Go Ask a Question, and we'll do random drawing from those questions and then also answer some of them. So kind of dual purpose out in Discord. And I'm super, super duper excited about that. And then the February event got announced. February 5th, we're going to be chatting with Jessie Ostermiller, who did the Color Work Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got a whole class about color choices. So perfecting your kind of choosing of colors, which I have definitely struggled with and really appreciate hearing more about it. So
Cool.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
exciting.
Excellent. Yes. So we're talking about New Year, new WIPs today.
Oh yes, New Year, new WIPs. I have lots of them, of course. So I'm very close to finishing the test knit hat.
Ooh, yeah.
From Kirsten. So I'm on the decreases. Kirsten, yeah, sorry, K Drucker.
Mm-hmm. And that is oh goodness, name just left my brain.
Oh, I don't remember the name either.
Okay.
Test knit.
I have it in my email. I'm bringing it up.
It is named, I guess.
The This Way and That Hat.
Okay, the This Way and That Hat. So,
yes. I still haven't decided whether or not I'm going to try to do self-striping or I'm going to try to do a solid with a variegated, but I really like the way that it makes the colors go this way and that. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is brioche, right? And since the first quarter KAL for Eat Sleep Knit is brioche, I picked out some leftover skeins of yarn from Eat Sleep Knit. This is just a Cascade Heritage sock. And then this one is, they're not carrying her stuff anymore, so I don't know if she's even dyeing anymore. It's Nerd Girl yarns in their sock weight. Oh,
very pretty.
Yep. So
that blue as Bazinga, is it showing up?
It's more greenish than it's showing up, but it's still bright and cheery like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
On to the next. Again, this is going to be quite the parade here.
WIP parade.
I've got the Simple Editions pullover. And I had enough that I'm going to go ahead and try the long sleeve version.
Mm.
And if I end up not like preferring the long sleeve version, I'll just rip back and use the yarn for something else. But I think I'll like that. So,
have you done a long sleeve crop before?
Well, just the Love Note, and then I had made that other mohair. So I don't have ones that aren't mohair. How about that? So this is one that's not mohair.
Yeah, I love how those. But can you hold that up? Yeah, I love how the speckles are kind of coming in there with that texture.
Yeah, it's strange. Like this is all the same yarns, but for some reason the early parts of the ball were kind of less speckly, and then it kind of worked up into more speckly. even though, yeah, all of this is the same, you know, I was alternating skeins the whole way.
Huh.
So it's not like I changed into a new ball and it got more speckly. This is just how it ended up.
Yeah, that's interesting. I always am amazed at how sometimes, you know, we're doing these things to kind of break things up, and they persist anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have that in a beautiful sister bag.
Ooh, beautiful.
Let's see. I have a couple different sock whips that I can. Oh, the other things aren't really whips.
Needle
like,
adjacent.
Yeah, they're naps. So I'll just show the whips right now. This is a Lisa K. Ross.
Hmm.
Something diamonds in the name.
Mm-hmm.
And then the yarn is from At Hayden's House.
Cool. What is the texture? I mean, it's diamonds, but is it like knits and pearls or?
Oh, there's some cables.
Okay.
So you can kind of see that there'll be some tracking diamonds. And then in there, there's also purling and knitting. I thought that it would go well with the yarn.
Yeah. It's a little variegated, right? It's handling the variegation.
Yep, mostly speckled, but yeah, it has some variation, and it's diamonds in the light.
Do you remember what collection was that? Is that the it just left my brain. I can see the movie poster in my mind. It's vampires.
Diamonds. Yeah, I guess that would be Edward.
Yep.
From Twilight.
Twilight.
Diamonds in the Light.
Yes,
okay.
The Twilight collection. Sorry.
That makes sense. We did it.
Playing the knitting addled brain password game.
Password game, yeah. So then I also pulled up this really bright self-striping from Jenna.
Ooh.
716. And this is not anywhere near that bright.
Yeah.
But it's still bright because you know Jenna. She's not gonna make a dull color. But yeah. So I'm just gonna do some toe-up socks, probably do an OMG heel. Get some extra points in there.
Woo-woo-woo.
So that.
You've just got a lot. You just explosion of whips.
Yeah, the ones that I got done on day one were for fun, tiny little Insta projects. But and then because I have the younger having a birthday, I got kind of obsessed and gangbusters on something that I haven't shown anybody yet. So this is.
You've seen it here first. Ooh.
So they're like raven skulls. And so it's, I think it's Night of the Dead is the name of the pattern.
Wow. Yeah, you are going gangbusters.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to get done with the yoke part of it by this weekend so that we can have a try-on session by birthday.
So this fits into your New Year's resolution of a sweater for your family, right?
Yep.
A sweater for each of your family. What are the yarns?
There's a Barocco vintage DK, or no, sport.
Yeah. And what is the pattern?
I'm gonna have to look it up real quick because I think it's Night of the Dead.
Okay.
Oh, Dead of Night. I had it backwards. I had some dyslexia there. Yeah.
Flip flop. You had the essence of the pattern.
Right. And then who makes this? She makes a lot of these kind of goth color works, and they're really nice.
So did your
Dear
daughter
intern.
pick out the pattern, or are you going, oh, this is something that she would like?
This is something that they would like. So I don't know. I don't want to say, like, the plague doctor and some of that stuff has kind of been deemed cool aesthetically in our house. So yeah, I figured that was fitting. It kind of looked like a plague doctor mask, and yeah.
So it will be a surprise.
Yes and no.
Okay. Are they seeing you knit on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you couldn't make that much progress and without, you've kept it from us, but not with the people that can see you in your house.
People in my house, that I would never see them. That's how much I've been working on it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Happy birthday. You don't get to see me for several days leading up to it.
right. And again, I mean, it's not, what do I want to say? It's not mindless knitting. So I'm getting other things worked on because I have to really pay attention when I'm doing that, because again, it's a pattern that doesn't repeat. Like it's very, I'm gonna say pictorial, right? So
yep.
You can't just go, oh, I know what the next row is going to be.
I generally get myself in trouble when I do that.
Yes.
Even if it is a pattern.
Don't we all? Yes.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that with your hat. I have it sitting here. I got myself in a lot of trouble trying to do that with this hat. So if you're knitting Megan's hat, don't think you know.
Wander. Yes. Don't let your mind wander.
Yeah. Because again, it changes direction. So intuitively you think like, oh, I'm going to be going this way for a while. And you just forget that, oh yeah, I needed to change direction. Pretty
in its own way, but yes, not necessarily following the pattern.
Right. No, I wanted to make sure so this to say I'm looking forward to the new pattern.
Excellent. All right. So I am kind of still in my monogamous zone. I have done some finishing, which you're not going to see because this is not the finished object. But I did cast on a pair of socks. So I have, and I had written it up, but have not, I want to do it on different weights, as well as kind of, self-striping and variegated. This is some Queen City and the Vax to reality. Absolutely loving the micro stripes here.
Yes.
Just gorgeous. And the pattern that I'm hoping to get written up and ready for test here in short order, and I've got some folks already cheering me on to get it done, is the OMG, but it's an afterthought. So a fun little twist on, it is worked on one needle, so you don't have to do it all in line, right? You could do it afterwards. You can knit yourself a toe and do a true afterthought where you end up, or a tube, not a toe, goodness, brain filled in wrong T word there. You could knit a tube and do the true afterthought where you snip in the middle and unravel both directions and free up those stitches, or you could put in an afterthought and then insert your OMG heel into that. So that is what I'm doing here. And it's just getting some rounds here and there. I'm really enjoying it. Again, the micro stripes of it all, not for the self-striping, just because this is a variegated colorway that just happens to be, you get a line of different colors each row. But really enjoying it because I'm knitting on something that's very large gauge. So when I pick this up, it feels like my hands are like, whew, okay, you're not working on that big thing anymore. And then stitches just feel so tiny and delicate and fun. So loving that. So that's included in my monogamy because I can't take this other project with me everywhere. So I am hooked on the Tunisian crochet. I think I mentioned that I was going to do my first garment in our resolutions or our reflections and resolutions. So I've done a lot of Tunisian crochet and blankets where gauge isn't as big of a deal. I mean, you do want your object to be able to be used as a blanket, for example. But really large hook. I believe this is a 8mm, so an L, it says L11. And it's the Mellow Tunic by Tony Lipsy, and it's bottom up. I've gotten to learn, so I've got all kinds of pieces floating around here because I had leftovers. So this is kind of like a meta sweater. It's the leftovers from other sweaters. She's got it in 3-tone. I may end up needing to have a 4th because of my gauge being a little, I'm doing a larger size than, so I'm going to have some more yardage needed. But this was left over from my Snow Thank You. It's the Rockwell by Jill Make Stuff. Super squishy. So this is a sleeve. But I got to learn knits and purls. I already knew the knit stitch and Tunisian crochet, but the purl was new to me. And also increases, which you have done in your shawl. So really enjoying that. So these are the 2 sleeve cuffs. And right now I'm just like doing whatever I can with what was left over to add length to the cuffs. And I've got this is the front, I believe. And then this is the back. So it's kind of got a split hem where the front is a little longer or shorter than the back. So you get a nice little, so this is where it'll seam up. But yeah, it's kind of like sweater loading, right? And then I wanted to maximize as much as I could. So really cool in Tunisian crochet, a lot of like, moments, right? Not having to put this on those cords, right? Because at any given point, you just kind of elongate that one, that first stitch. And I've got these 2 just hanging out because I need to do the color change, which she has some really great videos in there. Like click here to go see how to do the Tunisian knit stitch. Click here to go see the Tunisian full stitch, which is the increased. Click here to see how you change colors in Tunisian crochet. But I'll show you the other colors. I'm almost to the orange. So the orange is next. And again, this is going to be a lot more bazinga on the screen than it actually is. I feel like it's a little more muted. It's the cinnamon. So this was left over from my, it's a Jen Stein glass. It's been that type of day, type of podcast. I'm not remembering. Anyway, leftovers. And then the other one is also Sun Valley Fibers that was also in that. So it's going to go from that dark blue to an orange and then the lighter color on top. Okay. And I've got then
your 4th potential.
Yeah, I might need to pull a gray in, kind of depending on how far I get on the main body, right? This doesn't feel like a third of the sweater. And I think she does have that middle stripe being substantially more. But I have a long torso. It's called a tunic. So, and it's got that split. So I want it to be a little longer. So we'll see. I might go off book there. But yes,
use up a little bit more of the blue or whatever.
Yeah. Well, you mean up at the top?
No, I mean at the top, the bottom. Are you almost done?
This is it. Like I can't add any more length to the bottom here. I'm just adding length to the sleeves.
Okay.
With this is what's left.
Oh no. Okay. So blue isn't any bigger.
Yeah, no, blue can't get any bigger. I'm prioritizing making the sleeves a little longer. Because like ripping out a row of this, which I've been doing, I've like been using it like a sock blank, gains me like 2 rows of the sleeve. So I'm prioritizing adding length to the sleeve at this point. But yeah, no, it's kind of fun. It's garment construction, working all of the things in concordance. Work this, then work this, then work this. They're all going to match and be the literal same amount of rows other than that extended ribbing on the back piece. And then, when I get to the front, there's a nice V. So I'm super duper loving it. Again, if I reflected back on this time of year, like 2021, Megan had no idea that she was going to love Tunisian crochet at this point. Because I think at this point we were talking to Tony about kicking off the or when did she come and talk to us? I may have been getting an inkling of 2021, Megan, deciding to start Tunisian crocheting and getting hooked, but on bump. So
yeah, I do think that when I made my blanket, or the blanket version of the shawl, I didn't use a big enough hook. So like, I think that it could have been, I mean, it's still a very nice and functional blanket. It's just very solid.
Yeah. And Jeremy was mentioning that as well. So yeah, this is the Tunisian knit stitch, which looks knit, and is pretty indistinguishable until you look at the back. And then you're like, wow, there's like a whole line of something on the back there that isn't pearls. Maybe on video, you wouldn't see it. That said, in kind of doing some of the gauge swatching with these cuffs, Tunisian crochet has a vertical and a horizontal aspect because of you have that return pass. So it's not going to, like, my knitting brain looks at this and goes, oh my goodness, that's going to be really large on you, right? But it's not going to stretch much more than what it is. So my brain looks at it and says, if I was knitting that, I would be concerned because it's going to be large. But you add in a little bit of the salvage there to seam it up. And I think that
here's the contrast, right?
Yeah.
This is my
yes.
Like, it's ribbing, and I look at it and I'm like, gosh, this was supposed to have, 8 inches of positive ease. Where's the positive ease? Well, it's blocked. You block the positive ease into it.
And so this will block a little bit, right? But it's I'm definitely not going to get the like knitting, oh, that'll stretch, moment.
For sure.
So Jeremy was like, well, maybe you should Tunisian crochet me some socks so my feet still stay really warm, because that looks really dense.
Sleeve. Giant.
And I'm like, I'm not going to Tunisian crochet socks. But it did look it's very dense. It's very
very
dense
never,
fabric.
I guess.
Well, I've not progressed in the round yet. Yeah. So where would you put a seam on a sock?
Nowhere.
Not under the foot. And you probably wouldn't want it under. So yeah, no, super loving it. Super excited about it. It's keeping me captivated with kind of the must Tunisian crochet faster so that I don't run out of yarn. And I'm still running out of yarn, but
right.
It'll be fun, that seaming moment and changing color. I'm super excited about changing color. So
no, I'm excited for you. I think that I probably would have fared better if I tried to Tunisian crochet a garment instead of the crochet one that I was trying earlier. And again, that crochet one, it was all gauge. That was the only issue with it, because I made it and I knit it and I put it on and it fit, but it was very tight. I also wasn't sure how to seam where it looked nice. So like I had one seam that looked very nice and another seam, because of how the stitches were between the top half to the bottom half. Like one was a cast on and one was a cast off. So I was like, ooh, this may have been too much for me. So,
yeah.
like
well, again, I mean, it's, when we started knitting, you're figuring out gauge as well, right? Like, can I be consistent? I was kind of noticing a little difference between these two, not enough to like rip it out, right? But I think one side is the same number of stitches, but is wider, right? So there's like a little bit of extra over here.
Okay.
Not enough to rip it out, right? But I'm still figuring out my gauge, still getting it set, and trying to give myself a little bit of grace, right, as you're learning something new. But yeah, Tunisian crochet is a unique combination of knitting and crochet. I don't know that crochet for me would have resonated if I had tried to make that loop, but this is kind of, or that loop,
Mhm.
this loop fits.
Crochet.
But Tunisian crochet, Megan approved.
Obviously.
So yeah, super excited about this. It seems like this is like a day's worth of
Oh, wow.
work, right? So it's flying for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep. No, I have so many of these projects. Who knows when one of them will get done, but I'm going to try to get, I think that the simple edition sweater is actually really close to being done, considering its gauge. So I might work on that after I get the try on done.
Get to the birthday. Get to the birthday. Yeah. No, it's the only thing I was that just popped into my mind in learning to purl in Tunisian crochet. So the Tunisian purl stitch, it reminds me a lot of the Norwegian purl, and that you're doing things to hold the yarn to the, have you done a purl? I'm trying to remember the shawl that you did.
No, I haven't done a purl.
Okay. So you kind of wrap to keep the yarn to the front. Because again, you've got, like with knitting, you've got 2 hands and 3 things to do, right? 2 hands and and the yarn, or 2 needles to hold, and then the yarn. And with Tunisian crochet, you've got just the 1 hook, right? So you're doing things to like bring the yarn to the front and then undo it and then do your purl action. And it kind of reminds me of the Norwegian purl. It's not the same thing, but it's similar. And again, if I hadn't been involved in knitting, I don't know if that would have occurred to me, but it's similar. So cool. All that to say, loving it, loving all of your WIPs too. I know that brings you joy, and you kind of had all of that, that WIP energy ready to come out in 2022. So
yeah, the hat is so close to being done, and it actually is really simple for me. So it is kind of my on the go knitting right now.
Well, the fun part is those decreases, right? So you're going to get to the decreases here pretty soon. Yeah.
I'm already on them. I'm on the second set already. So yeah, it's getting smaller. And so I'm excited. And then same with the simple editions might also be just basic on the go knitting. It's not too big. Right now I'm just doing, a small number of stitches in the round ribbing. So that can be, it doesn't have to be as focused as the ravens are. But
excellent. Well, may the yarns be ever in your favor.
Right.
Good luck.
Bye.
Good luck with that. Bye, Ufta. All right. Ended.